Hello, hello again.
Hello, hello, and bliss to all.
Indeed. Yes, bliss and love and joy and peace and all the good things.
All the
Um,
yummy stuff.
Stuff. Yes. Speaking of yummy stuff, recapping the last time we were chatting together, um, chocolate has been at the forefront. I'm like, Lay gave me permission. The Wisdom Keepers gave me permission. So, yeah, it was neat to just have a nice smile every time even if I didn't have any, and see my mouth is watering now that I'm talking about it, but yeah. So thank you.
You're welcome. And they are saying you're welcome.
Yes. Thank you.
You always have the right and ability to enjoy a little chocolate and enjoy life.
Nice. Yes. So what are you and they and we going to talk about this time?
We're going to talk about storms and wearing purple
Love it.
and how those two intertwine.
Indeed. Why don't you just go right ahead into it?
All right. First of all, just to mention, because it kind of works in with it, um, the words from Yasmin Boland,
Hmm.
uh, adventurous, daring, feels right, dreamy. All right. With that, let's hit it. I don't think it's any, I think no one will be surprised to realize that we have been through a number of storms recently. Including and we're talking energy, we're not necessarily, I mean, we, yes, some of us have had other kinds of storms also, but it's all energy in the end. Everything is energy. So in particular, we're talking about energy storms. Now, we've had the storm that has been going on for the last month or two, which we call the eclipse, and then we kind of got past that, and then we had this another storm, and it was called CME, solar flare, whatever you want to call it.
Mm.
And so the beginning of the storm, right before the storm, now we're going to go back to like, say, into February ish, before all of the eclipse stuff started to come about. And right before a storm, and it doesn't matter if it's, you know, what hemisphere or where you are, before a storm, there's always this kind of trepidation, kind of anxiousness, kind of feeling like, ooh, something's coming, and I don't know what, but it's there. But it's the calm before the storm.
Mm.
And during that calm, okay, we get prepared, we get settled, we try to ground as much as possible, whatever is necessary for the coming storm. And a lot of times, especially in energy storms, we don't necessarily know what we need to get ready, but we can feel it,
Mhm.
and we feel the energy coming in. And then you have the storm come, and no matter how it comes, if it's big, if it's not as big, whatever, the energy changes. I have always loved thunderstorms. And before the thunderstorms, I'd get so, just overbearingly tired, and just, oh, and then the thunderstorm would break, and energy, ooh, wow. And that would be the energy of the lightning
Mhm.
and the thunder. It's all the same. And then after the storm, it's kind of like, oh, okay, it's over now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a calming kind of afterward. Well, now we have this eclipse, and we had the before, and it was very anxious, and it was very trepidatious, and everybody was like, yeah, wow, uh, and then it happened, and it was magnificent, and the, the, the sun being blocked by the moon actually allowed the earth, the atmosphere around the earth to crack open and let in all of that wonderful energy we all felt. Oh, it was amazing. And lots of people felt it physically, you name it,
Mhm.
people
Mhm.
felt.
Mhm.
And then after the eclipse, it was kind of like, oh, now what? But we don't get much of a break because then we have this other one come in. The Probably the biggest CME solar flare event, possibly of 100 years. Now, is it any coincidence, as if that existed, that that happened immediately after the eclipse? No. Okay, so we have, I think it's solar flare, name is something like A3664 or something along those lines. And it's huge. It is the same size, maybe a little bit bigger, than the one that caused the Carrington event back in the 1800s.
Mm.
But we have a whole lot more technology now. So everybody was like, ee, ah, woo. And everybody who works in technology, in the energy sector, in communications, I mean, you name it, they're all going, because we don't know. Are we prepared for this?
Right.
Well, we did have different technology. We did have different ways of dealing with it. Most of us felt the energy come through because when those solar flares, even the little ones, hit our atmosphere, guess what? They break cracks in it and the energy comes through. That's how we see the auroras and everything else. Indeed, this particular aurora was so big, so massive, that there are pictures of it from Naalehu, Hawaii, which is the south point of Hawaii. That's that's this far from the equator. And people all over the entire earth saw this spectacle. And the lights, it was amazing. Those of us who may not have seen the lights themselves felt it. And the reason for that, if you didn't need to see it to believe that the energy was there, that the change was coming, that this was happening, you may have felt it and not seen it. Although it was a wonderful spectacle if you got to see it, whether that's what you believed or not. But this is like, if you, it's like what they call magic with a K.
Mm.
Um, if you don't need to see the show, then you don't necessarily get to see the show. But that doesn't mean you're left out. It means you're already prepared and you're getting that energy anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, um, the way that I've heard it put before is, if if you are ready, you don't necessarily need the magic trick to
Yeah.
let you know that it's actually happening. And so, that just, all of that aside, okay, so now we had this lull, which was the calm after the storm and the calm before the storm together.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the anxiety of the calm before the storm with the precious peacefulness, calmness of after the storm all together. And everybody is kind of going, whoa, ooh, that's interesting. And now we're in the calm after that storm. And we're in this lovely, luscious time where we've got the full moon coming up in Taurus, and this is where everything kind of comes together, and there's all this availability, abundance
Mm.
of lusciousness that we can bring into ourselves and grasp.
Mm.
And it's like, oh yeah. And this is where integration comes in. This word is huge with the wisdom keepers right now. Integrate this entire episode, which is not one, it's one, but it's many pieces of the same one.
Mm-hmm.
Integrate it, integrate it, integrate it.
Mm.
And that's how we're moving forward. And one of the ways to integrate that is to understand that all of us are letting go of what is no longer necessary, all of those tenets that we no longer need, and we're allowing in what what is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And this is very well summed up in a poem, and I can't remember who it was that she called "When I Am an Old Lady, I Will Wear Purple." And that's the whole idea is don't wait till you're an old lady. If you like purple, wear purple now.
Yeah.
This is your time to be you, beyond and without all of the stuff from before that told you you can't wear purple. You have to wear white and you have to wear black. No, you don't. You like purple, wear purple. And be you, the best you can be, because only you can be. And that's what you're meant to do.
Cool.
And that's what they want to bring through for today.
I love it. I love it. And it's interesting that your chickens were clucking through the whole thing because it was almost like they were your chorus going, yep, 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 yep. And now
I
they're
had them
quiet.
quiet for a while beforehand.
But like you're saying, we don't have to see it to feel it or to believe it, right? Yeah.
So how did
And
you experience this last one?
yeah, powerfully. And
If the chickens are too loud, I'll close the windows.
it's all good. No, no, no. I just noticed it. And no, but um, it was very interesting to me because I've been blessed to see aurora many times over in my life. And we knew about this, and we, as we were going to bed, thought, maybe we should get up and see it. And I had almost almost like an uninterest. I'm not even sure why. And yet when I woke up and I saw our neighbors' pictures, I thought they were gorgeous and I could connect with it. And I thought, wow, well, this happens all the time. Even though it doesn't have, like, I got that thought of, well, yeah, it's there. There it is again. And it'll be again. And my husband challenged me on it and it's had me thinking. And he goes, well, yeah, but this won't maybe this won't happen again. This is supposed to be one of the strongest ones. And he gave me more of the statistics and we talked about it. And it was a really interesting exchange of me going, why am I not, um, it's not that I'm not interested. It's just that I, I already know it or something.
You didn't need it.
Yeah, yeah.
Now you understand why you didn't need it.
Yeah. Yes.
As one of the gurus used to say, or what said when he was still in form, he said, I give them what they want, so they'll want what I have. If you already have it, if in the words of Ram Dass, why would I buy a ticket to Detroit if I'm already in Detroit?
Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. We got into the concept of awe as well. Like, what is still awe-inspiring for us? And I thought that was a really neat topic for him to bring up. And I appreciate it. And I keep thinking about it. It's a few days now that we've been intermittently, having little chats, but it's brought up a lot. And so as you say, it's brought in new newness, amness for me. And I do feel more like expanded or connected or right. And I had to go downtown this morning, and I don't like going downtown. We're in a small town, and I should really not complain. Um, I am very, very blessed and lucky. Uh, and I'm walking around, and I'm sort of in this daydreamy, almost like a protected space. And I got the groceries, and I went to the meeting, and I got home, and I look at the clock. I'm like, woohoo, I actually have time, instead of the fret and the anxiety and the, you know, trying to piece things together and have something to eat on the way to my office, or, it was, it, I'm observing some beautiful things today. So, and I think it's because of this beautiful solar dance that has come across our planet.
Integrate.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And for me, I didn't get up the first day because I live in Hawaii, and you know how rare it is to see it in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Why should I get up at that point in time to just have it all blown because it's I don't see it? And then I saw the picture from Nalehu, and I thought, wow, okay. And they said it was still happening the next morning, so I'm like, okay, fine, I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna see it. And I did, but it wasn't like the rest of you. If you know about the colors in the auroras, they mean different things. I mean, different, the way that it hits right at the poles is different than it comes through, and it migrates down to Hawaii, which is almost on the equator.
Yeah.
And so what you all saw might have been beautiful reds and greens and all kinds of patterns and such. What I saw, first of all, was a very, very, very blue sky. But what I also saw was that every bit of this, every bit of the auroras is little particles, energy particles interacting. And what I saw all over, all of that makes me, it's pitch black. It's like, absolutely pitch black out there, except for this blue light and the pink dots that were all over the plants that were around me and uncovering everything, pink dots everywhere. And I'm like, I'm seeing the particles.
Amazing.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So it was a different experience, but it was just, and I still continue to feel the expansion of this time, hugely expansion of this time, and how much is available to us now that we want to integrate, integrate, integrate. And as we integrate all of that, let the integration and let the energy push out everything that is from the old that doesn't serve, that we don't need anymore, and wear purple. The blue and the pink together, wear purple if you want.
Beautifully said. Very dreamy, very adventurous, all those words that you mentioned earlier. It fits.
And very much ethereal. This whole time feels rather ethereal. I mean,
Yeah.
it's amazing to be here now.
Yes.
And at the same time, it's like, wow, can we really change that much that fast? And they're saying, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
I know, right? I know. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And I'm finding like the um manifestation and like law of attraction kind of stuff. But whatever you want to call it is happening very quickly. And if you ask, it will arrive. So be careful what you ask for.
And especially if you for it's happening much faster and much more easily for those of us who have already been working on letting go of all that stuff that we no longer need, all of that, past history, individual past history, family history, ancestral history, societal history. If we've worked on it and we've let go of all of that we no longer need,
Yeah.
what's coming in is coming in so much faster, so much more easily. And yes, you can ask for it and it can be there in an instant.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but it can be. And believing that, knowing that to be, not just believing, knowing that to be the truth,
Mm-hmm.
that's when it gets really fun.
Beautifully said. Yeah. Yes. So, how can we um, practice or help the integration? What are the tools that the wisdom keepers offer that you suggest?
They just, over and over and over, is let go. And it's pretty much the same as what I've given before, like before you go to bed. Wash out your entire body, wash out the cells. What, let them let them be so clean, so pristine, that
Mm,
they can accept all of this new energy in. Because as much as we see all this change around us, every single cell in our bodies is also changing to be able to accept all this new energy.
mm,
You may feel all sorts of interesting physical things. Let me tell you, I know. Uh, and it's nothing to be concerned about. It's merely your body upgrading.
right.
And, in order to upgrade, the easiest thing to do is to take all those old files and, and upload them to the oneness drive. And then take all of those old emotions and feelings and things that you don't need and download them into Mother Earth so she can compost them into New Earth energy
Mm,
and let that New Earth energy flow back into you,
yeah.
flow back into you. And
Yeah.
as you do this, you will be helping not only yourself, the entire world, to bring in, to ground, to anchor this new earth energy. And it's not just, I mean, it's universal, it's all sorts of things, but all this energy that we need so that we can remake this world into what it can be and will be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about just that, just letting go of the past, letting go of the, I mean, when you think about how much we still have that we don't need and isn't serving us, we still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
But the energy is here to support us and help us and move us to a new way of energy and a new kind of body, if you will.
Right.
Will it look the same? I think so. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it won't feel the same
Right.
because right now we're so anchored in that 3D energy,
Yeah.
that physical, that you know, and we have all sorts of non-physical senses
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
as well as the physical senses.
Yeah.
Not saying that the physical senses aren't good, but there's so much more.
Yeah.
And that we will be accessing all of this and using it to be part of the oneness, the amness with all that is here now,
Yeah.
which takes away all of that stuff that we no longer need
Exactly.
and doesn't serve.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Even if we've been told it serves and we need it for thousands of years.
Yeah. And I just want to say right here, like, I want more people in the world to trust what they are naturally feeling is happening, especially around this letting go stuff and releasing, because a lot of the time, I search for tools and stuff, and then I sit and I realize that I've had the tools, even though no one's taught them to me. I've had them forever. And those are the ones, like, for instance, talking through my higher self to someone else's higher self. And whether you envision it, whether you feel something, whether you see lights or colors or whatever it is, that has been a really impressive tool with incredible results for me in this last little while. And I don't even know where I heard that or learned it. It's out there. People talk about higher powers and connecting with each other's higher self and stuff. And yet I've actually brought it into my regular practice now, and I'm helping clients understand that this is a thing, especially with, estranged family or people that in the physical are unsafe, but they still have hope for love for that other person's heart. And that brings a lot of healing for us, those of us who see and feel and know, right? So it's powerful.
Yeah. And, people ask me on podcasts all the time, what methods do you use? And I will always say, I have a tool belt and I
Yeah.
use whatever tool is necessary at that moment in time.
Yeah.
And you're right. We don't necessarily have to have been trained in these things. It might be a very simple tool and it will be there when you need it, if you ask. And you have it available to you, just like you said,
Yeah.
at any time.
Yeah.
You just have to ask
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then trust.
and trust. And I can't tell you how many times I've asked and trusted, and it, boom,
Yeah.
seconds later. Well, that was quick.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Exactly. And then if we still like if we're listening and trusting and there's still something, there's a pull and we're frustrated or there's a little bit of that humanness, as we're allowed because we're human, we're here having the experience. Something's still pulling. Um, I find that when I take like little actions, the ones that I know, whether it's self-care, maybe that's the only action in this instance, that's okay. So I do those things, or like I read through, genealogy stuff or whatever it is I'm searching for. Then if I can just let it kind of, like you say, flow, then something else pops up out of the river, out of the water, out of the flow and goes, hey. And I had one of those things today, you know? And I'm searching for my great grandfather's child, what we think he had when he came over to Canada on his own without my great grandma and the kids. And we believe, had another child here, but was not connected. And then there was an article in Reader's Digest, etc., etc. We were unable to reach out at the time, but now I'm on this trail and I've got a good new idea for today. And I'm like, okay, here I go. Just the connections. And because some of us carry that family history, maybe a little too much, but some of us like to unravel mysteries. So,
Yeah, and it's in looking at and seeing those mysteries, whether they're self-imposed or whether they're elsewise,
yeah,
but finding those, that's a huge key to
yeah,
being able to heal and let go.
exactly. Exactly. And it is about healing for my family, right? There's a lot about great grandpa that needs healing. He was a wild guy. So, yeah, it's powerful stuff, and especially with the energies that you're talking about. It's now, now is the time. Yeah, now is what we have.
And now is where everything is present and where we have all this energy and we have the choices of how we use it going forward to make this new world.
Hmm.
It starts now.
Awesome. Perfect, perfect. What a beautiful spot to end with for today. Thank you, my friend,
Thank you.
and the wisdom keepers, as always.